And here we are in the middle of the Mount Crawford Forest in South Australia to commence the ENDRUST Forest Car Rally, the fifth and final heat of the Australian Rally Championship for 1977. And this involves a number of firsts for us here in South Australia. It's the first time that this forest has been open for such an event, and as you'll see during the next 2 days, it's a very superb setting. It's also the first time in Australia that an attempt has been made to telecast live a car rally. It could also possibly be the first time in the world. It's certainly a first for us at Channel 9. It's not only the first time that we've been involved in such an ambitious coverage, but it's the longest direct telecast ever, totaling more than 6 hours in all. And it's the first time also that I've been involved in car rallying, so I'm fortunately surrounded by experts. On my left, Stuart McLeod, South Australian Chairman of the Confederation of Australian Motorsport, and don't blush, South Australian Rally Championship driver on 6 occasions, so Stuart knows what he's talking about. Will Hagan on my right, well-known sporting commentator and journalist. Well, if I might just ask a question of Stuart first, what's your impression of the course?
The course at the moment is very slippery, and I went over it this morning in my private car and had a great deal of difficulty getting around. There's the tight, twisty, windy stuff that you'll see a little later on the promotion that we do is very, very slippery. It's very easy to go off the road, and I believe out there this morning a couple of cars have been bogged. So anything could happen to the competitors, as we were only travelling at very low speeds. When they're travelling at high speeds, they'll be going off the track, they could be hitting trees, there could be all sorts of problems. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see them, but we'll be seeing plenty of action on television, I'm sure.
When you say they'll be travelling at high speeds, what sort of thing can we expect?
Well, there are some sections in the forest that they have to get up to, or they will get up to, around about 100 miles an hour. Of course, they'll then have to start braking very quickly to go around the next corner. But there are occasions, there's a couple of bits of smooth, straight stuff where they can go very, very fast. Down the first television stretch that we've got, from right from the start of when you first see the cars to when they turn hard or do a fast right-hander in front of us, they could quite easily be hitting top gear and 80 to 100 miles an hour down there.
100 miles an hour, that's absolutely mind-boggling. In a forest like this, with all the tracks are just twisting and curving all over the place, it's going to be really something to see. Will Hagan, could you tell us something about the scoring system? I see we have the scoreboard here. Could you just explain, well, we only have 10 names up and there are about 70...
Yes, well, there are in fact 70 will start. 77 entered. There have been 5 scratchings and 5 have moved up to take their place, so there are still 2 reserves, so it's an absolute capacity field. As you say, Roger, there's only 10 shown here, the leading 10 in the balloted draw the other week. But outside of this 10, there are another 2 that we also must keep our eyes on. If we look here at number 6, Ford Motor Company entry, Greg Carr and Fred Gacentis, David Morrow for the Marlborough Holden dealer team with George Shepherd navigating for him, and the private Canberra preparation firm Jerry Ball Tuning entering Ross Dunkerton, the Western Australian champion and also reigning Australian champion.
Now, he's at this stage, I understand, 1 point ahead, is that right?
That's right. Dunkerton's leading it at the moment, but those 3 people have all won a round so far this year, plus Doug Stewart, who's running car number 12. He also has won one of the previous rounds, and then car number 11 is Colin Bond. Those people all obviously have got to be in with a good chance of winning this event, but then you add to that the likes of Shinozuka, one of the top Japanese drivers and greatly experienced in Australia, South Australia's Dean Rainsford, Bob Riley, who's very quick, George Fury from Victoria down the bottom there, who's also extremely quick, and then people like Murray Coote and so on backing them up.
Now, Stuart McLeod's been a very busy man. He's now going to give you, the viewers at home, a driver's eye view of this forest section involving our direct telecast.
The cars are held here at the start and they proceed up the hill to this point where they come into camera view, past camera